The world abounds in change through man's ability.
Welcome to Foulcast, everybody. I'm Josh.
I'm Ken.
I'm Doug.
How we doing?
Tired.
Oh, yeah.
I've been renovating our half bath. Not knowing what I'm doing, really. I mean, knowing enough to know. Fucking idiot that owned my house before. The bathroom it hasn't been a bathroom for years. When we did our kitchen tile, my father-in-law did the kitchen tile. Then, as I told the story before, where I came home one day and the door leading out from the laundry room to the yard was just gone. He stole the door.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't tell you this?
No.
Okay, yeah. I went to Saturday's market one Saturday, and I came home, and so we have the sliding glass door out to the deck, and then in the laundry room there was a door that led out, which is like 10 feet away from the sliding glass door. It's a pointless door. I think the idea is you go in that door, take your boots off, whatever, because you're out in the woods at my house.
Right, yeah.
But I came home and that door was just not there, and there was a piece of wood, like a piece of plywood there, and I was like, okay. And then I talked to Dee, and her dad decided that, unbeknownst to me, that the laundry room and that half bath, the tile should just go completely straight through.
Under the wall? Or...
Well, it's a door. Like, it's a step, and then...
Oh, I see. Okay.
And that... We don't use that door, so we should just get rid of that door. And I was like, okay. So, he did all the tiling and everything, and... drywalled that, so now there's no... Just a wall there now.
Mm.
But... He was doing the floor, and he got, like... almost all the way there, and then I forget why, but I think that's when they started moving out of their house, and he just never came back.
Okay.
And now he's old. So
And all of a sudden, as soon as they were done moving, he was old.
yeah. I mean, it's just like, I'm not gonna bug the guy to come back. He's got enough going on. He has some health issues, so we're just like, yeah, we'll do it someday. So we're both off this week, and she was like, we're doing it this week. I was like, okay. Let's go.
Wow, you're much more giving than I am. I'd have been like, fuck that. I'm off this week.
Well, the problem, the real shit thing is, my garage doesn't have heat.
Mm.
And it is insulated, and I do have an open outlet and a heater to plug into it, but that outlet has stopped working, so I've got to get it. Like, I fixed it once, and now it is not working whatsoever. So I got to get an electrician because I have no idea what the problem is. So it's too cold for my resin printer out there, so I was keep putting it in that little water closet because it wasn't being used. It was a perfect spot for it, and now I don't know where to put the fucker because I don't want it anywhere that animals could get to it.
Yeah.
So
it wouldn't be hard for them to knock the cover off.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I just got a couple months so I can put it back out in the garage again. So it's not a big deal. But
Yeah.
the wall, like, there's a hole in the ground for the toilet. We have a bucket over that, and then the vanity and the mirror and the lights. The only thing that was left was the lights. So she said she wanted to do this shiplap shit. It's like fake wood planks
Okay.
behind the vanity and the lights. I was like, okay. So did it. Looked awesome. Went to put the light on. Lights all the way over here. Because I didn't take the light off until I absolutely had to because there's no other light in there.
Oh.
Because the asshole... So, when we moved into our house and we cleared out the crawl space, we found correspondence classes to be an electrician. I don't think he finished it, because I find shit like this every time I do some weird electrical shit in my house.
You had him in the crawl space?
Yeah.
Was he sitting in the crawl space, like
Just-
reading?
yeah.
Where did I leave those damn things?
I found those and that framed picture of Kirk Cameron up there.
Oh my god!
So I don't know what he was doing while he was studying, but
Fucking
Like-
Kirk Cameron belongs in the crawl space.
the light was like this metal
Nobody
box.
puts Kirk Cameron in the crawl space.
I don't know who has that now. We snuck it into Maria's house after she bought her house. I don't know where Kirk is nowadays.
This is the prank that you play on each other.
I guess,
You
yeah.
give
I
each
don't-
other a picture
I
of
don't,
Kirk
I
Cameron.
don't know if it made its way back to us or if she still has it. But yeah, it's like a metal box and then 4 light bulbs. So I finally got to the point where I had to remove the light, killed the power, took the thing off, and it's just a hole with the electrical wire coming out of it hooked up, which is like major fire hazard. It needs to be in a box of some sort in case there's a
Oh, the
spark.
actual connection? Yeah.
Was just there.
Oh.
And he got a box that was so large that it could come off center, not a problem. Because it's coming from a different stud. And I was like, motherfucker.
See, I would be afraid to let a real electrician in there because, like, take one look at all that shit and be like, "Yo, your house, fire hazard.
Yeah.
You cannot legally live here."
I kind of am.
You have to get a hotel now.
Yeah, I'm really, yeah.
How long have you lived here? That long? You're very lucky.
I kind of am because it's like, so I spent all day Googling how to fix this and I've tore out that whole section of drywall.
Wait. Googling how to fix this sounds like what the last guy did.
Well,
But
he
without
did that
Google.
before Google.
Yeah.
At least with Google, you can have somebody, you can find a video showing you somebody
That's true.
doing exactly what they need to do, and so long as, yeah, they could be full of shit, but the videos were like, this is what you need to do to pass code, this is not code. And the video was like, this is not code, and he pulled the light off, and it was exactly what was in my bathroom.
I mean, I'm glad that you're finding this stuff now.
Yeah.
It would have been better to find it earlier, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, what if you tried to sell that house and then they had someone come in and inspect it and it was... Did I say expect? Someone come in and inspect it and everything's just fucking cherry-rigged
but
all
that's
over
the
place.
thing. Like, we had a really good, highly regarded home inspection, and I walked through with the guy. They're not, like, taking lights off
It's true,
the
they're not
walls
taking
or
fixtures apart.
but if something's amiss and they check it out, yeah. Like, we didn't find any... we found, like, 3 kind of minor things. But
It's like, do you smell that? It's a mess. It's a damn good inspector right there.
That doesn't smell code to me.
I don't know why that's so funny to me.
Casey is actually on home inspection TikTok. Like, she gets videos in her feed of people doing inspections of, like, flipped homes.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the shit that people try to
sure.
pull is ridiculous. Like a dishwasher and an oven that you can't open unless you first open... Like, to get the dishwasher open, you have to open the cabinet in the corner between them, and then open the oven, and then open the dishwasher over top of the oven door. So, like, if you're baking something, you're not washing dishes. Like, you showed every possible combination of trying to open these things, and it just would not work unless you did it in that very specific order.
yeah, it's not... Like, I can't imagine... I've never been in, like, some of the... like, not all the houses on my street are the same. But some of them are.
They're, like, prefab.
Yeah. When they were all... A good bit of them were built at the same time. I've never been in any of the other ones to, like... I don't be like, hey... we wave each other when I walk the dogs. Can I come look at your outlets? Like, I just want to see...
I want to see if the same person fucked up your...
I just want to see if you have the same amount as I do, because if you don't, then I know what happened.
Do you have a lot of outlets?
So, from the front corner of the base, like the front half of my basement, to the garage, in the laundry room is one long circuit.
Mm-hmm.
Basement, living room, garage, laundry room, half bath. It's one long circuit.
That's not awesome.
So,
wait, if it goes through a bathroom, are there like safety outlets in there? That
you
would,
don't
like,
need
get
those
tripped?
if it's just a sink.
Okay. Oh,
You
it's
need those
just
if
a
it's a
half
shower.
bath. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm like, because if that thing got tripped, I think it would turn off all the power on that circuit.
And that the outlet that is in there is tied into the outlet that isn't working in the garage. Because now that outlet doesn't. Neither one of them work. It's so stupid.
Dude's wife was like, "You have fucked this house up enough.
Yeah, we are moving.
Let's find another one."
And we're hiring an electrician for everything.
By George, I can fix it.
And I think I get it. Like he got real good at like fixing his stupid issues. You wouldn't notice looking at it. Everything was like looked factory.
He was able to pretty it up.
Yeah, he could clean it up. Which I fucked him up myself and had to clean him up. So you do get good at it. But
I mean, people are wrong. You can polish a turd.
yeah.
You probably shouldn't if you don't want your house to burn down.
He's down there in Florida regaling people with the tale of one long circuit. Like, every goddamn thing in the house.
They told me I'd need more than one breaker. I said, I don't use more than 30 amps anyway.
Here I am. I run the shop vac when Dee's curling her hair and
Like, old George at the power store said, "Well, don't you need a safety outlet in there?" And I said, "It's a half bath."
I read my correspondence books.
that guy was old as fuck. I ran into him once when we were doing the house inspection because it was just me and the inspector. And he was leaving right when we got there. And he was like, "You're getting a good house, oh, young man." I was like, whoa.
And that's the thing.
And as he left, I heard, "One circuit!"
That's the thing, though. You don't know whether you can trust that.
That is the original circuit.
Yeah. The circuit by which all other circuits.
It's the circuit.
Yeah, my circuit gives birth to circuits. They come to my house and pick up new circuits for houses.
If the electrician comes in and, like, rips out that circuit, all the other circuits in the world are going to break.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like a vampire.
It's the linchpin.
Protect the mother circuit.
The mother circuit.
Ridiculous.
That's great. I like that.
Got a new Vid Jam movie coming up.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So yeah, it's got the light on.
It's
Light
an
works
adventure.
now. Ship blast behind it. One wall looks great.
So what's that called again?
Shiplap.
Shiplap.
Yeah. Because it's like the same shit they used to put on the outside of ships or something like that. I don't know. Watch this old house.
I'm gonna go lap the ship.
Yeah, I guess.
Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. Gotta go lap the ship real quick.
Dogs are all worked up because I'm using a nail gun.
Mm.
Bedlam. Just bedlam, I'll tell you.
You know, I'm glad that we don't have to deal with, like, dogs bounding all over the place when they freak out like that. But our birds are terrified of things that are white. So, like, it's a trade-off.
Yeah.
If you bring anything in, like, the paper that we use to line their cages so they don't shit all over the cage is white. And you walk into the room with a sheet of it ready to change their cage paper, they freak out and they scream and they fly around their cages and potentially hurt themselves.
Just sitting there with, like, animal safe markers painting.
I'm seriously thinking the next, because it's newsprint, basically. Paper. It's newspaper. And it's on a roll. And we have it on, like, this big metal dispenser. And it's one of the best things I ever bought. Because you ever need some paper, you can just pull it and tear it and get as long a piece of paper as you want. Casey uses it for sewing patterns sometimes. She'll just trace a pattern out onto it and cut it out and use that as the pattern. It's really useful. But I'm thinking about just getting a different color of it if I can, and I have to imagine that's more expensive. But I don't want my birds to kill themselves running away from paper. So yeah, it's the little things.
Tell you what, that fucking rain last week.
Yeah, that was the best.
Man, that is the fucking most frightened I have been driving home since the time I drove back from Philly in a blizzard.
Oh yeah. I texted Bruce something right as I was leaving, and I was like halfway down the pike, and he was like, "Hey, I'm up if you want to talk to someone on your way home." And I was like, white knuckling it. I was like, I can't even pay attention to the road.
I'm not turning around right
Yeah.
now. I'm not making this trip any longer.
Yeah, no, I'm not calling. No.
I came home. I went to the office Tuesday. We didn't work Monday. Went into the office on Tuesday, and I came home, and Casey was on her way out, and she was like, by the way, I think just before, like 10 minutes before you got home, I think Mr. Bruce came and knocked on the door, but like I didn't answer it because I was naked, and I'm like, fair. I don't want Mr. Bruce to see me naked either.
Yeah. He was naked too, so it was like
was.
doubly weird.
You know he was. And I was like, okay, I'll make sure I keep pants on.
I
Made it home in one piece, though, right?
Yeah, but I thought I was a goner. 'Cause shortly after I made it home last week, I laid down to go to bed. I woke up at like 12:30, and my tongue was numb. My whole left side was numb. And I sat up and I just freaked the fuck out. Because I think with already being sick and everything, your head's just kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
I thought I was having like a heart attack or something.
Oh, my God.
I got up and I tried to go to the bathroom, but because when I get up now, I get real lightheaded all the time. I had to like sit back down and try to chill the fuck out so I could get up and go to the bathroom, and I finally made it, but by the time I got back to my room, I was still like freaking out and felt like I was just like racing and shit. I'm like, oh man, I think I'm having a fucking heart attack.
Oh, my God.
What do I do? So I laid down for a couple seconds. I'm like, well, I could just die. But then
These are my options.
No, so I got up and I called 911. I'm like, yeah, I think I'm having a heart attack. I was going to drive to the hospital, but if I'm having a heart attack, that doesn't seem like a good idea.
No, I got yelled at for doing that.
Yeah.
That was like, if it happens again, you're not driving. I was like, wasn't
Call an
expecting it to be a heart
ambulance.
attack this time.
Right, yeah. You had no idea.
Yeah, dude on 911's like, all right, what's your address? Cool, send someone. See ya. And they sent like a fire rescue person.
Were they that casual? They're
Yeah.
like, right on.
Yeah.
Cool.
No deal to him. He's like, what's your address? What's your name? All right. Guy's
That
coming.
guy's taking that call all night.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, yeah.
As of the 7th time I made that call tonight.
So like some fire rescue person showed up, and they're just hanging out for like 20 minutes. They're like, yeah, the ambulance is real behind you today. They've been driving around people all night. And I'm like, if I'm fucking dying here, I'm in trouble,
Like,
aren't I? And he's like,
I'm here to resuscitate you if before
Did
the
they just show up to provide, like, care until the ambulance got there if it was necessary?
I guess.
Yeah.
So they just ended up hanging out and bullshitting with you for a while?
He's like, yeah, if you're having a heart attack, you'd probably be dead by now, so I don't think it's a heart attack.
Maybe drive. Maybe fucking drive next time. Jesus.
He's like, are you calming down at all? I'm like, nah, dude, I'm fucking freaked out here. I can't even stand up. My legs are like fucking shaking like crazy. Then the ambulance people roll in. They're just all casual and shit. Like, all right, you want to walk with us out to the ambulance? It's going to be a long wait, so are you sure you want to go? I'm like, dude, I think I'm having a fucking heart attack. They're like, well, we don't think you're having a heart attack.
They figured by the time we show up, if he's not dead, he's fine.
Yeah. I'm like, well, something's fucking up either way here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I want to go. put me in there, man. They don't even hook me up to any machines. That's how confident they are that I'm not dying.
Your insurance covers this ambulance ride.
I sure hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Well, you got it in before the end of the year, so with all the shit you had going on, you've at least met your deductible.
Your deductible is definitely hit already.
If I get that bill, I'm gonna be like, listen, they didn't do shit.
Yeah.
Okay, that guy took my blood pressure and he put the fucking oxygen meter on my finger for like 10 seconds. And like they actively tried to dissuade me from
He puts the oximeter on you for like 10 seconds. He's like, yeah, you're perfectly healthy. Let's go to the hospital, I guess.
He's like, well, all the ERs are busy tonight. Which one do you want to go to? I'm like, I guess the one I've gone to a billion times now. He's like, well, that one's real busy. I'm like, yeah, you just...
He said they're all busy.
It's like, well, they got my fucking records, so that's where I'm just going to go.
Like, if I had said a different one, is there one I could have picked that wasn't going to be busy? You said they were all busy.
Right?
Give me the best choice. Whatever you think the best choice is right now.
I'm going to trust you. I think that you get billed for the ambulance ride by the hospital, though, and certain hospitals charge like wildly more for an ambulance trip than other ones. They won't tell you.
It was a weird situation, so I don't really know what's going on here because as part of my insurance, if I go to the hospital, I got to be seen by the hospital. Yeah. Otherwise, you like run out.
Yeah.
But like while they're driving me to the hospital, they're calling this in. They're like, your favorite ambulance is coming back tonight. So like they fucking been there a billion times
Are they
tonight.
The fuck up ambulance? Or?
I suppose so. But like they're like, yeah.
Harold and Kumar driving ambulance.
Write that screenplay. Miramax will buy it. They'll buy anything now.
Yeah.
Are they still in business?
No, I don't think so.
No, not mine.
Yeah, they're like taking me there, and they're like, yeah, we're bringing a guy in that's got shoulder pain. Vitals are normal. So I feel like an even bigger asshole now, even though I'm thinking like, well, something's fucking wrong with me. I'm like, don't tell him I got shoulder pain. Tell him I'm having a fucking heart attack here, dude.
Yeah, at least say he thinks he's having a heart attack.
Yeah.
Don't call ahead to the hospital and be like, I'm bringing a person who doesn't need to see you. I know you're busy, but squeeze them in.
Yeah, they wheel me in there. They're like, all right, we're going to tell him, your arm hurts. Just get in this wheelchair. We'll see what happens. So I get in the wheelchair. They, triage comes out like 5 minutes later. They call me back. And the guy's like, yeah, your vitals are fine. I can't legally tell you to go home. Mm-hmm. Legally, I have to recommend that you stay and get checked out. But your vitals are fine. It's going to be forever. We are real busy tonight. We have no beds.
You are at the bottom of the triage list.
Yeah.
You will get seen approximately never.
He's like hammering home the point. I legally cannot tell you to go home, but you should let the receptionist know when you decide to leave so we can take you off the list.
That is ER speak for you should go home.
Yeah. 'Cause I'm just sitting there like, I feel like such a fucking asshole now. Even though I'm like still having like I'm at the end of a fucking crazy anxiety attack.
Yeah.
You wake up in the middle of the night and your tongue and one half of your body is numb.
Yeah.
You're going to jump to conclusions.
Exactly. You don't expect that shit to hit you when you're not actively... You think you're not actively thinking things that give you anxiety.
Yeah.
And
Dee wakes up a lot when she has anxiety issues.
Yeah.
My shoulder had been hurting for a couple days at that point. It was going up into my neck. It was going down my arm. And when you read shit online about heart attacks, they're like, hey, if you have pain radiating specifically from your shoulder into your neck and down your arm, like across, call 911. You're having a heart attack. Well, I was having an anxiety attack. I assume.
You probably...
It sounds like it.
One thing...
It also sounds like a fucking heart attack.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, no, if you wake up with that shit, obviously. One thing that her doctor had to stress to her was, you don't have heart attacks for, like, 4 days. Mm-hmm. It's sudden.
Yeah.
So if you're, like... If you're having, like, that numb, like if you were just having shoulder pain for a couple of days, it's not a heart attack because it's extended. But if you wake up with all that other shit, that I wouldn't fault you at all.
Yeah, that's what the fire rescue guy was saying. He's like, well, since you've been having that pain for a couple of days, not a heart attack.
Yeah.
You'd be dead.
But sure, yeah. I've got a pretty slow heart. It's taking its good old time.
My heart can attack me all at once. It's kind of a pussy.
Death by 1,000 pains.
Oh man, I was like, I was just sitting in there with this guy telling me like, yeah, can't legally tell you, and I'm like, well, I'm probably supposed to fucking go home, but am I going to get charged for this? It's 3:00. I have a doctor's appointment at 8:30 or 8:40. So I'm like, how?
Yeah, you'd be missing that appointment.
I'm like, where am I on the list? And he's like, it's going to be a while. So I'm thinking like, well, there's a good chance that the doctor's appointment would come up before triage.
Yeah.
Before a doctor at the hospital is like, all right, we can see you now.
Yeah, seriously, and it's only 5 hours, 5 hours.
And like
not an unheard of wait.
The waiting room itself wasn't like packed. There's maybe like 8 to 10 people out there, but the waiting room or the ER is dead if they can't get someone in a room. So, who knew how long I was gonna be? I was like, all right, I fucking walk up to the receptionist. My legs are shaking. I'm like, hi, and she's like, yeah, the guy already told me. So
he was like, this guy's gonna be leaving. So
yeah. She's like, let me cut your band off. Like I didn't even have to tell her I was leaving. That guy said it was like, when he goes up there, just fucking boot his ass out. So yeah, I get home at like 3 a.m. Well, fuck, I gotta get up in a couple hours. I went to the doctor's office and they did all the fucking checking. They're like, well, we're gonna x-ray you. We're gonna run an EKG and everything.
See, that's fucked up too, because I went to the hospital because I thought I was having a heart attack once. Because I was having and that was again, I'd been having pain across my chest for days. It just got so bad. And they didn't kick me out. Like, they did like a full workup and x-rays and shit. Like, my vitals were fine as well. I mean, I guess, times are tough right now, and they're just like...
It's probably they're more worried about keeping things moving with how busy they are.
For the extreme
people that actually really need you. Like, if they can tell, they're not going to do it just to humor you.
Yeah.
And I got the luxury. They were like, we can make some money off the guy and make him feel a little better.
I got the luxury treatment. Let's get this guy some x-rays.
Well, when I
go to Bermuda this summer.
Check this guy's insurance. See what we can get away with.
The first time I went there at like the end of May, that was when my heart rate was like 130, 140. As soon as they saw it, they were like, yeah, get this guy right fucking back here. Like, they stuck my ass in a room right away. And now they're just like, he's got shoulder pain. Who fucking cares?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, I don't know. I think at this point I'm just a hypochondriac in the central Pennsylvania medical system. Because that's like the 5th time I've been to the ER in 5 months, 6 months. Yeah. End of May was the first time I went, so essentially 5 months.
You have had enough times that you went in that you actually had like something that needed to be done, though.
Yeah.
But you would think that they'd say, okay, sometimes when he comes in, it's nothing, but it's kind of justified, though.
Yeah,
it has to be because of the scarcity of resources and
I'm sure it is.
And
I'm sure it is.
How busy they are.
I'm sitting there like, look, I'm not coming here for fun.
Yeah, do you think?
Like, and I'm not coming here for drugs because you guys don't give a shit. Like, I'm coming here because I literally think something's fucked up, and it's fucking 1:30, 2 a.m. Where am I supposed to go? But yeah,
and not even like
booed my ass right out of there.
Not for nothing, but their dismissal of your concerns is probably contributing to a fucking anxiety attack, so fucking do something. You know?
Well, here's the thing. I had a follow-up appointment at a place in Middletown, and now my regular doctor is fucking gone until like the middle of January.
Ugh.
So I've seen this other doctor, and she was off with Christmas, so she was like, "All right, I'm going to schedule you for this follow-up with this nurse practitioner or whatever they are," and she's like, "He's real good," and so I went in. And, like, he seemed real good. Like, he was asking me all the questions. He was, like, checking everything. He's like, "So you went to the ER on, last Thursday?" It's like, "They don't even have any notes in here. Like, you just got up and walked away?" I was like, "Oh, no, they told me to get up and walk away." Like, I went there because I thought I was having a heart attack, and that's why they did the tests here the next morning. He's like, "Oh, that's real fucking weird." I mean, he didn't say fucking, but it's like, "That's real weird."
That would be so fun. That's real fun, isn't it? I want you from now on.
That's weirder than a red cunt.
But yeah, he was like blown away by this. He's like, I worked in that ER for, a while. That's not really how that works. I'm like, "Yeah, you don't say." Like, I went in there and that guy was like, "Yeah, your vitals are normal.
No.
I can't tell you to leave, but get out." He's like, "Oh, that's not how that goes."
No.
Should have been escalated as an ethics.
Maybe. But, like, honestly, it sounded like they were real sure there was nothing going on.
Fucking
there.
UPMC.
Well, if were that my hospital system, I would, because I have to take those fucking trainings every year. Hearing that from him, I would like, per requirement for our hospital, I'd be obligated to go report that. If that were the hospital system I work for.
Really?
Just hearing that, yeah. And then the ethics group would investigate.
Is it really just the part where the guy's like, "I can't
Yeah.
legally tell you to do this"?
Yes.
As a way of actually telling you to do that?
Yes. Yeah. Anything that is suspect other than standard of care, I've got to report it.
Wow. Wait, you don't have to report standard of care violations?
What?
Or?
Well, yeah. I mean, that would be a violation of standard of care.
Okay, the phrasing was
Yeah.
odd. You're like,
Yeah.
anything other than standard of care, I'd have to report it. Like, that sounds like the important part. And then while I was asking the question, I was like, that kind of sounds like what we were talking about anyway, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, that's shitty.
I told you guys I'm supposed to get a colonoscopy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I talked about that last week. So that doctor wanted me to have my shit tested because of not digesting fat properly. So he ordered a shit test, and
There is a word for this, right? They don't call it a shit test.
I call it a shit
Dookie-ectomy.
test. I don't know what it is, but
I told you guys I was getting something jammed up my ass soon,
Yeah.
right?
Dookie screen.
Well, they did a shit test.
I mean,
Booty noodle screen.
going with the medical anxiety that's been plaguing me recently. I took a shit last week that fucking reeked like when I had C. diff.
Ugh.
And thinking like, oh, I'm coming off almost 3 weeks of
Yeah.
doxycycline. I might have C. diff again.
Fuck.
I'm going to send a message to my doctor and be like, hey, will you order this test? And they will. So I had 2 shit tests. So I picked up the shit test stuff from the doctor.
Yeah, I'll order the test, but why did you have to leave it on the doorstep of the office? I already dropped it off for you.
It's in like a sandwich bag. Not the Ziploc kind even, the fold over kind.
They gave me like a plastic bedpan that sits in the toilet because you can't get water or piss in your shit. You just got shit in your shit.
Okay.
Okay.
So I finally did that last night.
Is that what you posted a picture of a little sport?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I was like, I feel like you shouldn't be putting that up your ass. I feel like the sharp things going up the ass is is the opposite of what he should be doing right now.
I want to visit the factory where they make the tiny shit sporks.
Right? That just blew me away. I'm like, look at this adorable little piece of shit.
This is just a cute little thing that they make for you to dig through your own
It's
feces.
like, oh my
with.
god, it's so much better for animals.
Yeah.
If I need to get a sample of the cats or the dogs, they give us this. It's like this little tube that, like, you unopen it, you put it down in, you twist it, and then you put it back in, and you would never know what's in it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a very quality system. They need to invest in the.
Well, I mean, this was a tube, but when you unscrewed the cap, the spork was there.
Yeah,
And my first thought is like, this spork, sentient, coming off the line is like, oh my god, I wonder what delicious meals I'm going to feed to people.
I bet I'm going into Yoplait Parfait.
Right?
I'm about to destroy
Fruit on
this.
the bottom, hope on top.
Just
I'm going to destroy this spork's dreams and hopes right now.
completely oblivious to its true purpose until you crack it open and you dip it into that shit and start shoveling it.
And it doesn't react with horror. It just crumbles immediately. It just goes into open sobs.
Yeah, oh.
Oh.
No,
I'm a spoon and a fork. I have so much potential.
Not anymore, you don't.
Literally anything you can use me for. Why this?
Let me tell you, I demonstrated like that little glob of Metamucil last week. I'm like, this is what I shit out now. I had no idea of the actual texture of what I shit out.
Oh, yeah. That's weird.
Until-
Yeah. Shit is weird when you actually touch it.
But this wasn't like shit.
Yeah, this was your
This is like,
fibrous.
this guy consumes 30 grams of Metamucil a day. Shit.
Like sliding off the spork.
Remember when we used to like use Nox
Yeah.
for like wounds and stuff and even
Yeah.
making movies? Think of like a clump of Nox. Not like Jello, just that dried, gummy clump of Nox. That is what my shit is. That's why when I shit, my asshole is clean now after like one wipe. Because it is just like encased in a gelatinous Metamucil fucking
Fiber shell.
fiber shell.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I was like, this
Tell you what,
this
that
is
doesn't
not
sound
shit.
That bad to me. That sounds pretty good to me. I'm not touching it.
Oh my god, like, yeah, I it was disturbing. 'Cause I know what my shit's like. I used to shit. Now I just dispense the end form of Metamucil. The evolved
It involves
Metamucil Pokemon.
Like the shit that comes out of the Queen and Aliens.
Oh my god, it's...
What is the evolved Pokemon form of Metamucil?
I can show you a picture, but I won't.
What's it called? What's its name? What does it repeat endlessly when it speaks?
Kill me.
Oh my god!
Kill me.
It evolved from Metamucil into Kill Me. I don't know. I was thinking like Maximucil or Megamucil.
Megamucil. Yeah.
Oh.
Megamucil, I choose you.
Oh.
Hits the table, slides across, hits the ground without leaving a streak.
This thing I just shit in is like that deep, that wide. It just fucking fell out of my ass into that thing. I had to stand up because I was like, oh man, that shit's up against my asshole now. It's still coming.
That reminds me. We were at Lowe's the other night for the bathroom. And Dee was like, we were looking at the toilets, and she was like, I think we need one of these with the round rim instead of the egg-shaped rim. And I just go, then my dick's going to touch the toilet, right as one of her coworkers. She was like, luckily it's somebody that knew me. She was like, this is my new boyfriend.
It wasn't like the 85-year-old social studies
this
teacher.
is the girl that's 10 years younger than Dee.
Okay. Oh man. Yeah, she doesn't care if people talk about dicks.
No,
I don't know why old people don't want to hear about dicks. Dicks are funny
because
as
theirs
hell.
don't work anymore.
Well, what if it was a lady?
Women like to talk about old men's dicks that don't work anymore.
Oh, yeah, but like, you talk about your dick in front of an old lady, she's going to get offended. It depends on how old. The really old ones, they're still offended by dicks.
They're offended that they don't got that dick.
Maybe.
Like, you keep talking about that dick, I'm going to hit you up on Craigslist.
Yeah, because the
You
older
talk about that dick, you better give it up or I'm gonna come upside your head.
beating you with the purse. Pulling the
You
treads
shut up or fuck me!
Just pulls the dentures out. It's like, let me show you what the mouth do, sonny.
Greatest trick God ever pulled was making me horny after Wilbur's dick stopped working.
This WAP stands for wrinkly ass pussy. Ben Shapiro's wife ain't got one of them neither. Sorry, doctor wife. Oh,
Yeah.
fuck, man. Your shit sounds horrifying.
How
does
sounds
it
nice? I mean, the shit sounds nice. I don't digging around in
like
it.
taking the shit
Yeah.
sounds nice, but like,
But
yeah, no, I don't
I don't
want
wanna
to
dig
contact with it.
Yeah.
Digging it out of there was fucking tough because it just kept falling back in. Cause
It wasn't sticking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just slippery little shit.
That
That's
had
what I
to really
guessed.
fuck with that spork even more.
You
You stuck it in the shit, and it wasn't even helping. It wasn't even fit for purpose.
Did it not like puncture the Metamucil?
No.
Shit? Oh God! Please, why?
Not only did I spend my one and only purpose in life digging through somebody's shit,
Yeah.
but I didn't even do a good job.
Yeah, I wasn't even good at it. No wonder I'm a shit fork.
And then I couldn't figure out how to put it in the bag. It's like I had to put the shit in some capsules and drop it in a bag and refrigerate it until I took them back in.
Okay.
But the bags had like 2 pockets, and the first one I dropped it in the wrong pocket, and then I took the thing off to seal it, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense. How does this thing seal
wasn't
the
in the
front
seal,
pocket?
yeah.
And then I realized there was a back pocket, so I put the next one in the back pocket, and I took the thing off, and I'm like, oh fuck, I forgot to label it.
There it is. See, this is exactly what happened when I was at donating my sperm. When I came in the wrong cup. They make it too goddamn confusing.
I had to go in there today, and I was like, listen, I screwed things up with the container. She's like, oh, is it all over the place? I was like, no.
Did you shit in the bag?
Is it all over the place?
Yeah.
You know that they have like dementia patients that are
yeah.
like, oh, I tried to poop in the bag and now it's on my ceiling. I don't know why I did the full impression like that.
Oh, it's wonderful.
I was like, no. I got it in the container. It's just I'm an idiot and I didn't know how to put it in the bags. And then I had to like re-emphasize before I left. I'm like, the poop is not all over the place. The containers are clean. It's just.
Oh, man. Different situation, but now I don't feel so fucking stupid for coming in the wrong cup.
Well, and they're not going to explain it because you look at you and you're like, that guy comes in a cup all the time.
Yeah, exactly, right? Exactly. That guy knows exactly. He's not getting up to go get a paper towel. He's going to use whatever he can get. And that's exactly what happened. I grabbed the closest cup. Just wasn't the one with my name on it.
You do what you're used to. When you're rubbing one out, if you just grab the closest thing that could serve as a receptacle that could be washed or thrown away easily,
Yeah.
it's going to be the first cup.
I had to do the... Where was that? North Philly transfer. Poured into the other cup.
Jesus. The North Philly transfer. Oh, I want to tell North Philly about that. They're not going to be happy with you.
I was laying in bed yesterday morning, and it was like the first time in my life that not in my life, but the first time in a long time I got sad for my lack of sex life. Because, like, I've lost a considerable amount of weight. And I have always been, like, really, really fat. Like, my dick hadn't finished growing before I got really, really fat.
You never knew it.
So I was, like, laying in bed and I was looking at my fucking morning wood. And I'm like, you could have been a good dick. Like, you have potential. You are the fucking shit spork of dicks. I'm like,
Oh, you didn't fuck the shit too, did you?
Well, you know.
You take the sample into the lady and you're like, I kind of screwed up with this whole sample thing. She's like, oh, did you fuck the shit?
don't worry, son. It happens all the time.
You're like, why is that the first thing you would think of? There's so many other things that could have gone wrong here. No, you just look the type. I'm going to make jokes about both of you doing perverted shit tonight. You look like a shit fucker.
You fuck the shit.
That's just like, that just reminds me real quick of the Brian Posehn bit where he's at the strip club and he's like, the stripper comes up to me and she says, you look like you like to bend girls over and fuck them in the ass. And he's like, I fucking look like that? One of my favorite jokes ever.
Say, he doesn't look like a real mobile one in the sack.
No, I would think that he pulls a Kevin Smith and just lays
you
there.
know, you remember that age app? That thing that made you look old and everyone was like, oh.
Yeah.
Mine was just a picture of Brian Posehn, so I got that to look forward to.
When I was telling that story just now, recounting the bit, and I looked over here, I'm like, why am I telling Brian Posehn about his bit?
I mean, I saw that picture, I was like, whoa!
Yeah.
Okay, well, not going to show my wife that.
She's going to find out in a couple
Don't want her to
years.
figure that out till it's too late.
It's already too late.
Yeah. What? I was thinking about this today. What was the... There was a game that we dubbed the best just one more round game a while back. Do you remember what we were talking about?
Was it a video game?
Yeah.
I don't know. Were we talking about Rogue Legacy at all? That strikes me as
Could have
that kind of
been.
game.
Could have been.
I don't remember offhand, though. I mean, would it be in the episode? Or was this...
I might have been. I don't
Outside
know.
of that.
I might be able to find it in the tags.
That's right. You don't listen to them when you're editing anymore.
Not really.
You just go and cut out the stuff that we
I just
mark.
find what I need. And
So, yeah.
I do, because I get behind and I have to figure out what the fuck they're about. So I skim. But well, whatever it is, I think I found the new holder of the title.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was that game Jeremy told us about, that Vampire Savior.
Oh.
That game is so much fucking fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I hate myself for having fun with it.
Yeah, right?
Because you're like, this is dumb as shit.
Yeah, right?
I can't stop playing, but I
Yeah.
recognize it's dumb.
Yeah, it's just like I was looking at the Steam sale and I was like, oh, $4. My friend told me about it. He said all you do is walk. And then I was like, but it's vampires.
Mm-hmm.
Click, and it was like highly influenced by Castlevania. And I was like, well, this is fucking interesting. For $4, I'm going to figure it out. No,
Did
they
you ever
just
see the early builds of the game?
No.
They literally ripped everything directly
Oh,
from
really?
Castlevania. It was actual Castlevania sprites and Castlevania music. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, $4, let's try it out. And
Oh, it's worth every penny.
yeah, that is
I got it on sale. I think it was half off.
it was on sale. It was like $4 when I got it.
Oh, it was on sale for $4?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was only like a $5 game.
Well, that doesn't mean it was half off. It's just
Yeah, some kind of sale.
they could have knocked $1 off and said it was a winter sale. Who
Yeah,
knows?
whatever.
Is it Darkstalkers 3?
No.
No.
What
Wait.
are you trying to guess? The one we were talking about before?
No, I just googled Vampire Savior, and it says Vampire Savior, Lord of the Vampire.
Oh, it's Darkstalkers. Well, that's a fighting game.
Yeah. No. What, is it Vampire Savior?
I think it's
It is,
Vampire
right?
Savior, or is it Saviors? Because there are multiple characters to play it. Oh,
Survivor.
Vampire Survivor.
Survivors.
Yeah,
My bad. Vampire Survivors.
it's not even a fucking survival game. Any more than like life is a
Yeah.
survival game. You're trying not to die.
Yeah. Oh, it's so much fun.
Oh. Yeah, no, I actually think a little bit less of myself for enjoying
Right?
it as much as I do.
Why would Steam want access to my camera?
Unless there's like a streaming, you can stream through Steam?
I don't think you can.
Damn, 98% of reviews all time overwhelmingly positive.
It's so fucking simple. I can't imagine
Yeah.
why you would. Other than Doug's point, where it's like, why is this so much fun?
Yeah, but even
shouldn't
then,
be.
you're still addicted to it,
Yeah.
though. It's still fun, even when you're sitting there thinking this shouldn't be fucking fun.
Yeah. Yeah, like you're just walking around as waves of enemies come at you, and you're getting experience points from them.
And that's the only thing that happens in the entire game.
Yeah, you get
You walk around, these things come at you, and you get experience points from them when you
yeah,
kill
and you
them.
level up. But it's so much like when you get maxed out and you're just walking through like hundreds of enemies and they're just dying at your feet. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's a great feeling.
Oh, you pick up a power up, and you're just mowing down hordes like it's dead alive.
Or my favorite, because like there's so many enemies, like once you hit about 15 minutes into a run, you're mowing down more than you can pick up because you can't stay still. But then you pick that magnet thing that picks up
And it just sucks
everything
it all
from
in.
the
Yeah.
entire level, and it's just like it's so satisfying.
It's really satisfying. Yeah, I highly recommend it, especially as cheap as it is. Yeah, that's a good investment at any price. We played a card game that Dustin and Jamie got us for Christmas.
Okay.
We played it on Christmas Day. We got it on Christmas Eve, played it on Christmas Day. We played 2 rounds of it. It's a lot of fun. But all that it was like a risk versus reward kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's 3. The whole premise of the game is it's called it's called Let's Dig for Treasure. I don't think I can reach it. Can you reach that on it?
Yeah, I think it was over
I
here.
got it.
Okay. So the premise is there's like 100 cards. They're all divided up into 3 roughly equal stacks. Those are your dig stacks. And then on your turn, you flip over a card to dig up whatever's on the top layer. And then you flip over the next card to dig up the next layer. And you keep going until you decide to bank your cards.
Yeah.
But there are like a bunch of evil skeleton cards in here that if you dig one of those up, your turn ends immediately and you lose all your cards that you dug up. But there's also worms, and they're the most common card. And if you dig up 2 worms cards in the same turn, your turn also ends and you have to discard everything. But being that 30 of the 100 cards in this deck are worms, and that's all that they do, and also at the end of the game you score 1 for every worms in your score pile that you've banked.
Okay.
1 point is nothing in this game. So, like, it's not nothing, but it's not much. So we played it. I'm like, there's not really a whole lot of strategy involved here. It's mostly just luck and pressing your luck. But I really like the premise, and the artwork is really good. It's this guy. It's Stephen Rhodes. He does like all kinds of like stuff online. If you've ever seen the Easy Bake Coven shirt,
his
it's like a rip off of one
there's
of
a
his
ton of
things.
those that style.
Yeah. And the art's really good, and I like it a lot, and the theme is very fun. It's like super morbid, but it's like little kids digging in a cemetery.
Yeah.
So I'm like, there's got to be a way to like add some complexity and replayability to this game. And Casey was like, okay, I mean, whatever, because I had, like, she had made plans that day, so she's like, I need to go. I'm like, okay, cool. And she left, and I spent literally the next 12 hours writing and creating a 20-card expansion to Let's Dig for Treasure. The rules are over there. It's on, like, 3 pieces of 8.5 by 11 paper. But... So here are the regular cards. They're fun. I like this one, Old Man Murray's Milk, and the kid's just fucking straight up chugging a jar of milk.
I like this one, the sewer line.
And the evil skeleton's pretty good too. It's purple.
Yeah.
Evil skeletons should be purple. I'm gonna die on that hill. So this is the kind of stuff that's in here. Like, some of the stuff is worth like 10 points. The Ark of the Covenant is a card that's worth like 50 points. It's like one of the most valuable cards in the game, and the only ones that are more valuable.
And these fucking kids found it.
It's like specific. Yeah, these fucking kids. Casey, on the last playtest game that we played with this expansion, right near the end of the game, dug up the Ark of the Covenant and was like, oh, I should bank right now. I really should. I'm going to dig up one more, and it was an evil skeleton. And I'm like, you've seen Indiana Jones. Yeah. There's going to be skeletons near that Ark.
At no point, just by the rules that you laid out, at no point should you not bank after picking that card. Ever.
If you find the Ark of the Covenant in real life, bank immediately.
Yeah, exactly.
So... The mechanic that I added, though, was that this weird kid down the street has opened up a bait shop in his backyard, but, like, you're trading him worms for random junk that he has.
Oh, okay.
And he says that he's using it as bait, but everybody's like, I've never seen him fish, or even known him to own a pole. So, throughout the game, like, this is his inventory pile, and I used AI-generated artwork for every single one of them. Where's... It's the skeleton. The rubber skeleton was my favorite. But so, like, there will be... In the rules as I wrote them first for the expansion, he would have, like, 3 cards out, and those are the ones you could pick from to buy.
Okay.
And you buy them with the worms cards. So now, you actually want the worms. They serve a better purpose now, and there's so many of them that you're going to get some. Oh. Well, they don't just end your turn, or... Yeah, in the original game, they don't end it immediately. So, like, there's at least that. But, like, now, you know, there's things that you can do. So, like, I made up 15 cards, 10 different cards. Some of them there's more than one, for items. And then these are the 5 transformation cards. So, when Timmy... Because when you pay Timmy worms, they go into a worm horde. It's a separate pile, and he's saving all of these worms. And... As if he ever has 10 or more worms in the worm horde at a time, he immediately runs off and shuts down the shop. He leaves the inventory there so the next players can actually steal it. But, like, I tried to make it flavorful, too, because this game felt like it needed that. And then the beginning of the next turn, you draw a random one of these 5 transformation cards, and you find out what Timmy was doing with the worms the whole time. And it introduces new rules.
Okay.
So, like it could be parasitic host. The worms infested his body and used it as food for their young. And so, like, all the worms in the discard pile, which includes the ones from the worm horde, get shuffled back into the dig stacks and dealt back out into 3 stacks. Mad Scientist, he was performing experiments on them and turned them into a sustainable and delicious form of protein. And worms are worth more at the end of the game now, if they're in your score pile. And yeah, so...
Not bad.
Yeah, I was really proud of myself in one day.
The idea, I like it.
Casey said that
if
she
I
felt
ever play, I want to play with Doug's expanded rules.
I do recommend trying it once with the original rules. Because it is very simple. It's a simple enough game that you could break it out in a group that had never heard of it and just start playing it, and just they'll pick it up. But yeah, Casey said that she thought that it was it improved the game, but it does definitely need some revision. So I'm going
to divorce Casey.
Well, no, because then I won't be able to take her life insurance benefits.
Right.
I'm going to make it look like an accident. No, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 5 more. I'm going to add 5 more item cards to that deck, and I'm going to make it so that there's 4 inventory slots. I think that's the big change that I need to make. Also, works better with 4 players than 2.
Yeah. Yeah, then.
But yeah, I'm real excited about that. And honestly, if we play test it to the point where we think it really works well, I might try to sell it to the publisher. They get a lot of licensed card game deals. I think they did a Twilight card game. There's a couple other ones of stuff that I had heard of. There was a lot of stuff that I hadn't heard of, but it was clearly licensed. So yeah, I mean, I figure that they probably would be willing to
at least entertain it.
Yeah. And if they're not, because I'm not just going to give them what I did to ask if they want it. I'm just going to say, or would you be interested in something like that? If they're not interested, I'll just sell it myself. I just won't be able to call it Let's Dig for Treasure.
Yeah, it'd be like LDT expanded. That's
Yeah.
all you would need.
Yeah. And just post about it on Board Game Geek. I could pretty easily make it, too. The problem comes in when you consider that this game itself is only $15, and how much would I have to sell the expansion for?
Right.
And it's only 20% of the cards.
And then people that play it, do they... My question would be like, well, yeah, I played it, and it was fun. Do I care to try to expand it, Like if I were shopping for it and I played it once. Like, yeah, it was fun. Like, the core issue that you created the cards for might be a problem. Because there wasn't enough there to begin with.
I'm thinking... because I've actually watched some people review that game on YouTube. And they did say it was a lot of fun, but there's not a whole lot of meat on the bones. Which is exactly what I thought when I played it. If I decided to sell it myself, I'd probably send them a copy of the expansion.
Yeah.
And be like, would you like to take a look at this? Feel free to review it. Be completely honest. I'm not going to try to hold you to anything. No contract. Here's just a free copy. Do what you want. And I'm hoping that they would try it and be like, oh, this actually does improve this game. Maybe I'll do a video on it. And then that could actually pick up sales of this game and the expansion is what I would hope.
Everybody win.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to nail it down. We're not going to have time to play games for a bit, but we'll get more play testing in. Casey was playing a video game last night.
What's you playing?
Kingdom Hearts. So the PS2's out over there.
Stand it.
So I remembered liking the first one. I think the second one too, but after that it just starts getting kind of confusing and shit. But Casey wanted to play it, so I hooked up the PS2 and she's playing it, and I'm like, I remembered the weirdness with the plot and the inability to follow what was going on from moment to moment happening later in the game. It's the moment you start a new save file.
Right. That's why I don't understand why that... I think those games came out... If they didn't have that specific game... And when I say this, I mean, it's kind of duh, but my point... Tetsuya... I don't know... Nomura. I'm not sure how to say...
I don't remember
the first
his name.
half of his name. Should not have a career, in my opinion.
Wow, all the games?
everything I've ever played of his, I fucking think it's
What else did he make?
the Final Fantasy VII remake, specifically.
Oh, you didn't like that either.
He fucked it all up, made it confusing. I think that game hit right when a certain group was just aging out of cartoons, and he got that young nostalgia with a deeper sense of gameplay. While Final Fantasy was... It was like the perfect storm for that guy to get a fucking career, and it was deep and edgy.
So you're
But
thinking
it also
that...
Disney, and everybody was like, "Oh,
Wait, that was how he made his career? Was on the Final Fantasy VII?
no!"
Remake,
It was
or-
on the Kingdom Hearts games.
Oh, I get it. I get it.
You
I
know.
get it. Okay. Sure.
And they're like, "Oh yeah, it's deep and you got to dig in." No, it's fucking dumb. It's just
It's
some guy
confusing.
spinning his dick in the wind.
It's some Kojima level storytelling.
Yeah, exactly. Same shit. They've got. Oh, we want a Kojima.
Is that Sony? Is that the studio that developed those games? Was it Sony?
That's Square Enix.
Oh, you're right. It is Square
Yeah.
because there's Final Fantasy characters and shit.
Mm.
Yeah.
I don't know, Japan always has those guys.
Like sweary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the other guy with the thing on his head? Yoko Taro. Where's that ball on his face?
I don't know what you're talking about. It might be.
That's what, Suda
51.
Suda 51, yeah.
51.
Yoko Taro was the guy that did the Drakengard games and Nier.
Oh.
And he wears a fucking thing on his head.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah.
Hi, we make confusing shit that you can't follow.
I'm a fan though.
The David Lynch's of video games.
Yeah.
They always come out of Japan.
If you're gonna do something weird, at least make me think of David Lynch.
Yeah. I've read the storyline-ish connections between the Drakengard and Nier games, and I was like, that's fucking cool. Too bad these games are dog shit. Like, everybody's like, yeah, these games are terrible, but the storyline's amazing. And I'm like, fell into that trap with the first Witcher. Not gonna do it again because there's 3 games in your series.
Well, and then you've got Asymmetric. The ones who make the Loathing games.
Yeah.
They're also weird. They make you think of David Lynch sometimes, but only because they directly reference David Lynch.
I don't know. They don't. I don't find them pompous.
Yeah, that's the big...
That's the problem.
That's true. They don't take themselves seriously.
Yeah,
in the
is
slightest.
when the confusing shit is heralded as expanding the art form. No, motherfucker, you were high the entire time you wrote this, and you're not good high.
They put out an RPG for not for the first time, but like a single player game for the first time, and then put out a horse armor DLC that cost twice as much as the game did to make fun of Bethesda.
Yeah.
And so many people bought it because they thought they underpriced the game. And they're still not full of themselves. I think that would go to my head. If I put out a game for $15 and had $30 horse armor that was nothing but cosmetic,
Yeah.
and people bought up the horse armor in droves and specifically told me that it was because they didn't think I charged enough for the game, I would get a pretty big head.
You would be in CD Projekt Red territory.
Yeah.
When the next product comes out, you're like, oh, fuck.
I'd be like, oh, I'm going to remake Cyberpunk
yeah.
next.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I wanted to play that so bad, and I don't know if I ever will.
I bought it because I got it through Epic. For
Did you
like
play it a
20
little bit?
No.
No? I pre-ordered it on PS4. And here's the thing. I pre-ordered it like a month before it came out.
Yeah.
Like, it was available for pre-order for, 5 years before?
That was a long time.
A really long time.
Yeah.
And in fact, I have unclaimed property at GameStop for $5. That may be for an original $5 pre-order for Cyberpunk that I just completely forgot about. But I got it, and I played about an hour and a half of it, and then was like, that was pretty neat, and then took it out of the drive and never put it back in again.
Yeah, I got
feel a little
it
bit bad
recently
about it.
because it was actually just like last week, I guess, because Epic gives you that coupon during their winter sale that brought it down to like $20.
Okay.
I was like, okay, I'll. They also had Death Stranding for free, and I was like, well,
It's free.
I'm
might
gonna
as
claim
well.
it just to see how stupid this is.
I got a little into
Yeah.
Death Stranding. I didn't. I can't say that I had fun with it,
Yeah.
but I did get into it.
I mean, I know there were people who liked it, but I watched parts of it and not gonna do it.
I got about 2/3 of the way through the game before I said, "Fuck it, I'm going to watch Jacksepticeye finish this game."
I don't know. Will I ever touch it? Probably not. But it was free, and now I can if I want to. But
You know that Death Stranding 2 is in development, right?
yeah,
That's a thing. Apparently he changed quite a bit about the game, not because people didn't like it, because a lot of them really did.
yeah,
And I think that's the way that he likes it, is when, like, a lot of people, but not everybody, really like his games. He changed it because he said he was tired of predicting the future. Because the game is about a, like, major, like, communicable disaster happening that forced everyone into isolation, and everybody's completely dependent on these essential workers making deliveries. And this was...
yeah.
It came out like 6 months before the pandemic started. And it's like, okay.
That makes me want to contact Epic and see if I can return my free copy.
I kind of wish I hadn't started playing that game
Yeah.
until the pandemic. I think it would have helped.
Yeah.
I think it would have been like, oh, I'm picking up on this now. Society is becoming increasingly fractured and everybody's holed up in their houses.
Nope. Kojima wasn't the hero we needed. Tiger King was, for a point. For a beautiful window of time.
Oh,
It was
very,
Tiger
very
King.
small window, but it was nice.
That was a weird period of time.
Yeah.
Tiger King might be the only thing I remember about it.
There's Tiger King, and there was
Animal
Animal
Crossing.
Crossing.
Was huge.
Was
I feel like I have FOMO. Fear. FBM mode. Fear because I missed out of Animal Crossing. Like,
It was fun, but like being at work and everything, you ain't got time for that shit.
well, yeah, but it came out during the like, I feel like I missed something.
You wish that you had done
Because-
it then.
when they sequel it, it's not going to be the same.
Um,
You know what? Like, it's not going to have the same impact that the COVID version had because everybody was doing it.
true.
because
I mean,
they
like the
were-
COVID version was like the 6th Animal Crossing.
No, I
game
know.
already, though.
I'm like the community of
like
people
are
playing.
going to be buying it because they got into it during the pandemic, so it's going to be big and there's going to be
Yeah.
a lot of buzz about it, but it's not going to hit the same.
Right, and people are just going to play for a little bit and drop it.
Yeah, probably.
I feel like I do. I was like, I should have bit on that. That would have been.
That was the ideal release and
Yeah.
the ideal time to pick up Animal
Yeah, exactly.
Crossing.
I pick it up like once or twice a year.
Mm-hmm. Just to check in.
Yeah, like I'll go back on a holiday or something, and they'll be having their little in-game holiday celebration, and I'll walk around and I'll see like all the characters that still live on the island. They're like, "Oh my God, Josh Ratu, you went away for so long. I'm glad you're back. I missed you. Don't ever leave again." And then I feel kind of sad about it. Like, oh man, we sure did spend a lot of time together during a pandemic, and now I'm probably not going to pick this up for another 8 months.
Casey picked up her Animal Crossing island at one point. I think it was when the new like DLC stuff came out. So she's wandering around the town talking to everybody, and like everybody is saying like, "Oh my God, you were gone for so long. I'm so glad you're back." Like
Bitch,
we were
didn't
really
say I'm
worried.
back.
They're like, we were really worried about you. Please don't go.
Yeah.
like it's,
Like, oh my God, this is.
I'm like seeing somebody I thought was dead. Like they get in a little intense sometimes. And then her favorite character that was living on her island came up and was like, I've been meaning to talk to you.
Oh man, I know what that's about.
So like I'm not like really feeling like I'm like living my best life, and I think I'm gonna move off the island. And you have a choice. You can be like, I want you to be happy, and it sucks, but like, you do you go be happy, and they'll be like, okay, cool, thank you. Or you can be like, you're not allowed to leave. And they're like, oh, it's like that, is it? No, you basically try to convince them to stay, but it is
That's
you
kinda
choosing
fucked
whether
up.
they stay or
you
go.
choose they stay, and then you don't pick the game up for another 6
Yeah.
months.
She said that she let her go.
Yeah.
Because she was like, I'm not gonna play it, and I would have felt bad the whole time. It would just pop into my thoughts like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I told my character that she had to stay, and then abandoned her again.
Telling you, like it fucks with your psyche, man.
Yeah, it
Like
does.
I spend every fucking day playing with these
Yeah.
things.
Nope, I just replayed Final Fantasy VI for the 12th time.
I found out about a new mod for the PS2. So you can use like free McBoot, and you can like load stuff off a hard drive connected to the network adapter. Did you know that you can get new guts for the network adapter to turn it into a SATA connector?
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna put like a 1 terabyte hard drive in my PS2.
Did you know it's easier to just keep all your ISOs on a network share and load them via that?
Yeah, but I would have to hook up my PS2 to the network.
Yeah, true.
Which
I haven't
I do
dropped
have
it
the
by-
Ethernet port, but I don't have.
Just a switch or something to do it. Yeah.
What I have is those things that will let you connect Ethernet to your router over the power lines in your house.
Oh, yeah.
Which, it's black magic. It shouldn't work.
Yeah, I know, right?
It shouldn't work at all, and it does. And honestly, sometimes it works really well depending on whether you're on the same rail of your breaker box. But like,
Oh, man.
You know who wouldn't have a problem with that?
Holy shit, I spent all that money. My shit would be speedy.
it's just a direct copper wire.
Actually,
It's a thick
you
ass
fucking,
copper wire.
I have been, I did toy with the idea of doing that to get network out in the garage, because I don't need much out there. I just need a little bit of a connection. And if it's got to be on the same rail, I will be on the same rail.
It doesn't have to be on the same rail, but it's significantly faster
Yeah.
if it is.
Look out. Merle's still paying dividends.
So yeah, I could do that, but it would be so slow.
Yeah.
I miss my PS2.
It's a great system.
I've looked into trying to figure out how to emulate things, but it seems like a lot of those sites disappeared, or at least the collections that went with them did.
NZB's has a huge PS2
Also,
collection.
Really?
Of ISOs.
Vim's Lair.
Vim's Lair.
VIMM. Vim's Lair.
I get,
He has all the PS2.
anything disc based you can find on NZB's.
Yeah.
Real easy.
Do you guys both actually use ncbs.im?
Yeah, that's the
That's
only.
insane. I really thought that I was picking like some weird obscure one that just wouldn't get shut down. Apparently, it's huge.
Before that, I think I used Dog.
Dog is I have Dog and Drunken Slug as. Actually, Dog and Drunken Slug are what I use to get my automated downloads.
But when you search manually,
Yeah, anything that I'm looking for, I hit up NZB's first.
that's the only one.
Because
I
I've
go
gotten
to.
flagged because my shit went a little haywire.
Yeah. I don't remember why I stopped using Dog, but after I made the jump to NZB's.
Yeah, I used NZB's first, and then I later on added Drunken Slug. I don't think I know about Dog. What's this? What's the URL for that one? You know, is it DOG?
Yeah, it's like dog nzb.su or something like that.
Interesting. I'll have to check it out.
Between those three, I can find it. My I have coworkers that just do not believe me when I say that you have so much more luck with a proper newsreader system getting stuff. They just do. They're like, there's no way. Torrents are so much better, and I'm like, no, man.
You get DMCA notices from downloading torrents,
first of
unless
all.
you're using a proxy, which is slowing your download speed down.
Yeah.
So like I
oh.
use torrents as a last resort.
Yeah, me
I'll go to
too.
SoulSeek before I go to torrents.
Yeah, exactly. If there's something very obscure, typically some weird Japanese shit, maybe torrents then.
Yeah.
But I'm like, and I've done it. I showed it off like 3 times where they were like, I can't find it on torrents. I'm like, yeah. Not only did I find it, it's already on my Plex, sir.
Yeah.
And the sequel.
I
that you
found
didn't
it
know
and I
about.
downloaded it at 80 megabytes a second.
Yeah, that literally it was Carousel, horror movie about a horse on a carousel.
I see.
They
I
were
see what
like,
they did there.
I can't find it anywhere on torrents. I was like, actually, it's on my Plex. Just downloaded it, and the sequel's there for your viewing pleasure that you didn't know existed.
Have you
NZB
guys
for life.
seen- Have you guys seen Possession?
Yeah.
It's like a foreign film.
Have I?
Apparently, we got a very heavily edited version, and the original version you could find it, but like it was not easy. And it's about to go on Shudder for streaming soon.
Possession. That was Tim Roth.
I don't think so.
Is that-
no.
Maybe I'm not thinking of the right one.
Nope. I'm just playing the Danzig song in my head. I haven't seen.
You're like, is it this?
Yeah,
No,
it's
that's
like-
Danzig.
Is this the theme? No, that's Danzig. Never mind.
No, it's Sam Neill.
Sam Neill is. Yeah.
But I guess it was made in Poland? Looking at the director's name, he's definitely Polish.
Polish horror.
And it's a psychological horror drama film. And like, I heard a synopsis of it. It's not, like, it doesn't end up being what you think it's going to be. But it sounds great.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about it.
I thought that was real good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a French, West German co-production. Budget of $2.4 million in 1981. Which I guess, for like a European horror film in the early 80s, wasn't that bad of a budget, I guess.
Yeah, probably was fine.
Oh. But yeah, apparently they cut like all kinds of shit out of the version that got released in the US.
It makes sense.
And that's like the most widespread version that you can find. I'm gonna download it from Usenet. The uncut
wonder-
version's definitely been there for years.
I was gonna say I thought that I would have thought I had the full version. Like I
Yeah.
downloaded
Oh, you do
it.
have
You
it on your
probably do.
I don't know if I still have it on Plex, but
You probably did watch the full version. That sounds like something that probably had a full version in the DVD years would be my guess.
I go to Letterboxd and it says you've reviewed this film, but it doesn't let me see the review. Oh, there it is. Yeah, to 20 minutes in, I thought, okay, it's a little crazy, but is it really horror? 2 hours later, holy crap.
There you go.
Wow. So 2 hours? You have the full original cut then.
Did I?
124 minutes is the original cut.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, the chick in that movie, man, there is a subway scene that is just fucking batshit. That's as much as I'll say. I'll let you watch that movie and take it in yourself.
Right
but
on.
yeah, that was a wild trip.
That was just a random TikTok that Casey saw on her feed. I think it's a person that she follows who just talks about horror films and stuff. I don't think Casey was ever like super into horror films when she was younger, but like became more interested later. And then we got together and
Yeah.
have like so many fucking horror films. So She will occasionally just be like, "Do you want to watch Reanimator?" Because I kind of feel like watching Reanimator. I'm like,
Nice.
I'm never going to tell you that I don't want to watch Reanimator.
People that get into horror later. I mean, I guess I would have fallen into that boat as a teenager because I didn't really start watching horror movies until like junior year.
Yeah.
Or probably senior year.
And then got super into it.
Yeah. But I had a coworker who just this year was like, I want to watch horror movies. I never watched any. And she'd be like, hey, have you ever seen Halloween? Yeah. I'm like, kind of my religion, so yeah.
That reminds me of the time my mom came home from the library because she was volunteering at the book sale, and she had been talking to one of the librarians, and she mentioned that her son was into. My mom mentioned that I was into sci-fi, and the lady was like, "Oh, let me write down the name of an author you can recommend to him. I think you might like him." And she hands me this piece of paper, and it says Asmanov, and I'm like, I think she might have meant Asimov.
Yeah.
I've definitely already read Isaac Asimov, as has everybody.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Halloween? Did you? But do you know Friday the 13th though?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, she made me laugh because she was like, I just want to watch like the first one from each series, and then she was like, well, I might as well watch the other Halloweens.
No, there's no need for that.
Yeah, I was like, she was like, should I? And I was like, well,
Watch 3.
yeah, I was like, watch 1 and 2.
I wouldn't recommend anyone watch 3, but I'm just a person that hates 3.
Yeah,
myself.
I say 3
Sure.
with an asterisk.
Yeah.
I say 3 if you ignore it's called Halloween 3 and it's call it Season of the Witch.
Watch it knowing that
Yeah.
you should not associate it to anything you've seen so
Yeah.
far.
Or like,
Which would be a lot for a non-horror
yeah,
fan
exactly.
to take
Trying
in.
to explain that, I was just like, don't bother with it. I was like, if you're really interested, I was like, and actually, I sent her a picture of the mustache guy. Fuck, I can't think of his name.
Captain Kangaroo.
No, the guy from Halloween, the guy that was in Halloween 3 in the Fog, Night of the Comet. Fucking what's his name? Tom Atkins.
Okay.
Yes. I sent her a picture. I was like, if you see any movies with this guy and you think he's as cool as I do, hit up Halloween 3.
No, you
think
got
so
to
fucking
turn her
cool.
on to the Stuart Gordon directed Lovecraft adaptation starring Jeffrey Combs.
Yeah.
It's a whole genre.
Yeah. I let her get through your standard slasher movies this year.
Halloween is really a lot for a newcomer to take on because like it has branched out into several different continuities.
Jesus, what is it? 4 now? 5?
I think like
The originals?
There was 1 and 2. Then there was
1 and
3 if
2?
you count that.
That doesn't count.
You just leave that
because on 3, they were watching 1 on the TV. So it does not exist in the same universe. Unless it's a really fucked up movie. Unless
Casey and I
watching
were going on a
film.
search for like media that exists within its own universe because there were some that we found.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were watching things and we're like, wait a minute, this show exists
Yeah.
in the universe that the
A
show
lot of
takes
John
place
Carpenter
in.
shit. Yeah.
X-Files kind of does.
Yeah, I can see
There's
that.
the little nebbishy guy who has that TV show with the vision. Oh, he's actually an alien. That's right.
Jose Chung's from outer space.
Yeah.
Yeah. Halloween 1,
It's a
2,
great episode.
4, 5, and 6 are their own universe. Then H2O, Halloween and Halloween H2O.
Uh-huh.
Then Halloween and Halloween Resurrection. That's 3 universes. Then the
All
Rob
right.
Zombie
Rob
films.
Zombie.
Then the new series.
That's 5, isn't it?
Yeah.
5 different continuities.
6 if you count Halloween
If you
3
count
in its
3.
own.
Mm-hmm.
Which you shouldn't.
You shouldn't. It's not even
No.
loosely related. It's just the name.
That's a lot for people to get their
Yeah.
head around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I told her watch the first one, and if you're still interested, watch the new ones because you're a new horror fan. And I'm not going to tell you to go back and watch.
I mean, watch Halloween 2.
Yeah, It's got that dude singing Amazing Grace.
But, like-
please sit on my face. It's got that guy, but it doesn't have much more going for it.
But you know what? For someone who's not a
Completely
seasoned
jaded.
horror fan,
Yeah.
they would see Halloween 2 and say, "Oh, Michael Myers is just there. It's scary."
Yeah.
And I thought the guy singing about sitting on his face was cute.
That's like when Ken was talking about his dick hitting the bowl.
I'll tell you what, though. Horror movies that have a bad reputation, or had a bad reputation in their day and continued to, I think a lot of people are fucking sleeping on them now. Because, like, okay, no pun intended, because I'm going to bring up Sleepaway Camp.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, they're cult movies, but, like, in general, people don't consider them good.
Sleepaway Camp wouldn't be that good without the twist. As a slasher movie,
I hated
it's-
the twist, but I liked the rest of it.
Really, I
Yeah.
think as a slasher, it's pretty lame. It's pretty
So
like
the
death by
shot,
bees.
the shot where the dude gets an arrow through his neck, though,
Okay.
I rewound it 3 times before looking up how they achieved that effect. Because it worked really well if you didn't know what you were looking for. It's like a good magic trick.
The coworker was like, she would hit me up and be like, "Hey, I saw a kid in this movie. Does the kid die? Don't really want to watch a movie where kids die." And I was like, "No, you're good. You're good. You're good through all the Friday the 13th."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Oh shit! Don't watch Halloween 3." Take my recommendation off the table for that, because that whole movie is about trying to save some kids from dying, and this kid totally gets turned into bugs.
He didn't die.
I mean, his
In
head
the
got...
sense that Yoda didn't die. He just became something else.
Yeah, I mean, I think when part of you becomes something else, you're dead. Like, his head just became bugs,
Yeah.
and the rest of his body was laying there, so I'm gonna say dead.
The rest of Yoda's body was laying there, except
his
for his
clothes were.
spirit.
Just his
Oh, you're
clothes
right.
were.
His body disappeared.
Yeah,
His body fucking disappeared.
yeah,
Everything that he was transcended.
yeah, exactly.
Fuck. Well, I can't use that example. I was really proud of that. I was going to keep that in my back pocket. Yoda's a lot like the kid from Halloween 3 whose head turned into bugs. Oh, God. I want to watch more horror movies, though. I got out of it for such a long time. And now that Casey is around and into it, and she would be down with watching more of them, I think that we really should, but we haven't. We haven't been.
Watch Jane Silent Bob reboot. It's better than I thought it was, but it's not very good.
No.
Like, I thought it was going to be way worse, but I didn't think it was that great.
But you were
It was
watching
alright.
it after having seen Clerks.
No,
3.
I watched it because I wanted to watch
Oh.
Clerks 3.
Oh, you still haven't seen Clerks 3?
No, I was about to turn it on the other day. I was like, well, I didn't watch reboot. I should probably suffer
Oh.
reboot to get to this,
Okay.
just in case.
I will be very interested to see what you thought of it next week.
Clerks 3 was spoiled for me.
Yeah?
Bummer.
Really?
Yeah.
I would ask you what part they spoiled, but Ken hasn't seen it yet.
It's the damn tickety talk, man.
I think you might be on completely different TikToks than Casey is on, because the people that she gets are like, turn this off now if you don't want spoilers for this movie, before ever even mentioning anything else.
I don't really go on it much anymore. Like, I destroyed my feed to the point that it's just like a bunch of people shilling their OnlyFans. It's not a fun
Were you
app.
actually searching for thirst traps on TikTok? Is that what
No.
you're doing? Okay.
But if you like a thirst trap, that's all you fucking get from now on.
That's true. That is true.
There's
That's all I got to begin with.
this dance that some Middle Eastern culture does where they just stand in a line and do this.
You get that all the time?
Yes. Fucking all the time. Like, every time I scroll Instagram, there's a bunch of chicks bouncing their titties in a line at a wedding. Like, all the time.
We also have a lot of Middle Eastern Facebook accounts liking this podcast page.
Maybe it has something to do with it.
There
I
you
don't
go.
know, but
There's got to be a
it
connection
just,
here, right?
I mean, look, I saw one of them and I saw a bunch of chicks bouncing their boobs, so I clicked on it. And I watched till they got down the whole line. It was a big wedding, so. My playtime was rather long on that video, and then I watched it again, so now that's all I see.
Make sure you wheel Grammy Gupta into line. She's jonesing for some dick too.
Granny Gupta, camera had to pan down for them sisters.
Oh no. Oh man.
Oh, gentlemen, I got a couple states for you this week.
Okay.
All right.
Spock, take a look at this subspace news article. Some fool blew his own face off while cleaning a loaded phaser.
Fascinating, Captain. Was it someone aboard the Enterprise?
No, Spock, it happened in Florida.
I'm gonna guess there's 3 of them.
There are 3 of them.
Do I win?
You are fucking good at this shit. What are the states?
Florida.
Oh,
1 for 1. Oklahoma.
oh,
Oh.
oh.
And Connecticut.
No.
Okay.
I was ready to just give you the belt.
Oh.
No, we got Florida, Georgia, and Texas.
Okay.
I would have lost too.
We got the southern lineup here.
This is the triumvirate here.
It's the Southern boys. Wild-eyed Southern boys.
Mm-hmm.
Florida, Georgia, Louisiana. Is that what you said?
Texas.
Texas. Okay.
Headline number 1. GOP lawmaker who claimed 2020 election was a fraud is discovered to have voted illegally in 3 elections.
Ooh. Whoops.
Yup. Yep.
I mean, I bet you could find a case of that in all 3 of those states. But this
I
particular
wouldn't be
article.
surprised.
Yeah.
Headline number 2. Man arrested after police told him he could pick up a lost piece of mail at the station. The lost piece of mail was a Christmas card full of cocaine and fentanyl.
Whoops.
They throw that envelope on the scale and just...
Did you say the police told him he could pick up a lost package at the post office? Or at the station?
At the police station, yes. They called him and said,
Yeah, don't believe
we have
that.
your package here.
Okay, look, if you're getting drugs mailed to you, everybody out there in podcast land, and the cops tell you that you can pick up a lost package, you can be like, I have no idea what that package is.
Yeah.
Don't ever go pick up that package. It always ends the same way.
Yeah. If you thought about going and picking up that package, stop buying drugs by mail. Because you're not smart enough for this
If
maneuver.
you Google how to buy drugs by mail, you will, in the first result, get a list of things that you should know before buying drugs through the mail. And, like, the first one is if the cops tell you they have your package, tell them you don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Buddy hadn't read the list.
He had not read that list. He didn't do his obligatory Google search.
Sounds like Buddy was waiting for somebody to print out those Google results and mail them to him.
With some coke and fentanyl.
Final headline.
The instruction was inside the card. P.S. If the cops tell you they have this, don't go.
Oh, even the burbs know.
Mm-hmm.
Dumb shit. Oh, final headline. Gas station clerk arrested after retrieving a gun from her car and opening fire on customer who broke a jar of salsa amid a verbal altercation.
Oh, shit. I've had some good salsas. I've had some not so good salsas. I've never thought someone needs to die.
I've had some downright terrible salsas, and I've never thought that someone needs to die.
Red Meat, you are the current champion. Name that Florida.
Alright, I'm going to put cocaine via mail in Florida, lawmaker in Georgia, and the salsa shootout in Texas.
And now the challenger, the Dollar Menu Kid.
Got a lot of momentum going in.
Kind of think where you made your fatal mistake is that the package didn't contain any meth.
Could be because the police did it all.
Yeah. Exactly.
That could be. That could
Somebody
be. They specifically picked out the meth and did it.
Yeah, somebody intercepted the package, did the math, replaced it with fentanyl, and then sent it to the cops.
We gonna make this arrest and then partay.
Okay. So I'm gonna put the voter fraud in Texas. Yeah, and I'm gonna put the drug card in Georgia, and the salsa shooter in Florida.
Gentlemen, you have both gone 3 for 3.
Oh man,
Oh,
I hate it
no.
when this happens. It's the worst.
Our
And we
winner,
never have any clue who's who.
and still,
Wow.
Butterweight champion of Foulcast.
Those
Okay,
cops
so we're-
totally did that math.
Where I made my fatal mistake, I think, is where I insinuated that you had made a fatal mistake.
Knowing how it was going to play out, I had to fight interrupting you and be like, your fatal mistake is.
I was waiting for you to really start laughing over there, and then I would just know I'm fucked.
Oh.
Salsa shooter sounds like those little cups you get at like with salsa when you go to Moe's.
Oh, I don't go to Moe's.
You're never that depressed.
We get Moe's at work sometimes. They cater for us.
Yeah.
And
That's all right. I like my fake Mexican food made by inmates. Thank you very much.
TV Monstrosity is a Moe's man.
yeah.
TV's
Oh,
very
yeah.
Moe's.
He's passionate about Moe's.
I'll tell you one thing. If you're going for fast food, Mexican, never had to wait for Moe's. Waited a fucking long time, quite a few times for Chipotle.
Chipotle is worse than Moe's, in my opinion.
Never
The
liked
fact
Chipotle.
that there's never a line at a restaurant is not usually an indicator of quality to me. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I mean, Taco Bell's supposed to be fast food, but you'll sit in the Taco Bell drive-thru for like 30 minutes. and they're so fucking small that once you're in that line, you can't get out.
Oh, that was what pissed me off about the straw that broke the Chipotle's back the other week with us was being stuck in the Chipotle pickup line. And by the time I was in there for like 45 minutes, and by the time I got to a point where I could get out, I went around, parked, went into the store, and they were just putting shit away and not talking to anybody. I was like, motherfucker. And then we got up to the line, and the guy was like, we lost your order, so we made it fresh. I was like, well, thanks.
I would fucking hope
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm not waiting here 45 minutes to eat a 45-minute old taco.
Exactly.
Not taco, burrito.
Yeah, fuck that. I was like, I damn well hope you did, and then it was completely wrong.
We mailed your orders to some cops. Put some cilantro in there, if you get the drift.
He's like, what did he say? He put meth in our burrito and gave it to a cop.
You gentlemen want to hear a joke of the week?
Let's do it.
Let's rock and roll. All right.
Here, in its natural habitat, on a tiny islet off the coast of Belgium, we observe the majestic and elusive joke of the week.
Why do Native Americans hate snow?
It's got something to do with white, doesn't it?
Sure does. It's because it's white and settles on their land.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
That'll do
That
it.
is a problem for them.
Joke of the week, everybody.
It's a pretty dark joke of the week.
Not wrong.
No?
But you cannot fuck around with...
You're fired, Adam. You're all washed up in this business.